everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. Now, in today's video, I plan on discussing who I think the big bad might be for Season 1 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time production. So if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I usually put out 1 to 2 videos per week, and they're all Wheel of Time and Prime centric, so anything and everything to do with the Sony and Amazon production that's currently filming right now. Now, all of that being said, spoiler warning, in this video I will be discussing certain elements of Season 1 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show. So if you haven't read at least the first book in Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, that's The Eye of the World, be forewarned, I will ruin major plot points and character arcs from that book. I will also ruin minor plot points and character arcs from the second and third books, that's The Great Hunt and The Dragon Reborn. Because, let's face it, they're going to expand on some storylines, so we have to delve a little bit further into the series for Season 1. Alright, all that being said, let's get on to the video. Alright, so yes, I did give a 3-book spoiler warning for Season 1 Bad Guy. And that's because I'm going to talk a bit about Ishamael, so for those of you who haven't read the first 3 books, this is your last chance to dip out before I ruin some things for you. Alright, you're still here, now we're going to start talking. So, The Eye of the World, if I had any complaints about the book at all, it's the fact that the bad guys weren't great. In fact, the bad guys for a lot of the series seemed 2D or a little flat, and they could do with a little revamping, a little fleshing out. I love the book series, it's my favorite book series, but if I had a major complaint about it, it would be, The Forsaken, The Dark One, all of that could have been a little bit better. Now, don't get me wrong, later on in the book series, they do get a lot better, but for the first few books, pretty two-dimensional. It's kind of hard to believe in the bad guys. And I really like rooting for the bad guys sometimes. So, in the first book, we have the Dark One, who is essentially Ishamael now. Ishamael masqueraded as the Dark One for the first 3 books, and let's face it, he was more than a little mad, so he kind of thought he was the Dark One. He used the true power almost exclusively, which gave him the big furnaces for eyes and all his little special attributes he had, but he was the big bad in the Eye of the World. Now, underneath him would be the 2 Forsaken, Agenor and Bathamel, because they show up near the end, and you can't not mention them. And under that would be all the Shadow Spawn, the Fades, Trollocs, Drahakar, and the Dark Friends. And then below that would probably be, I would say, Mordeth and Mashadar. And then below that, maybe the White Cloaks as sort of a tertiary bad guy. So those are all the bad guys we have in the first book. I think we're going to see some pretty major changes in some aspects when it comes to that. So now we're going to talk about the show, what I think is going to happen. First thing I want to talk about is the Shadow Spawns. We see Mr. Fade here on the screen. I think we're going to see a lot more of them in the show than we did in the book, mainly because they're exciting, they look cool, and it's a big draw to new viewers. People who haven't read the books before, they're going to see this stuff and they're going to think it's super cool. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of the Trollocs, a little bit more of the Fades, maybe some more Drahakar or other Shadow Spawn that aren't mentioned in the first book. Maybe we'll see all of that, because, let's face it, it's exciting and it's cool. Will they be the big bads? No, I don't think so. I think in the first episode, yes, 100% they'll be the big bads, because they're going to show up and basically destroy Amon's field. You've seen the Wine Spring kind of in shambles from some of the promotional material. And it's the big battle of Winter Night, so that's how I believe the first episode is going to culminate. So, big bads there, but intermixed throughout the rest of the series, not the overarching bad guy. Then we have Logain. Now, in the book series, I didn't even mention Logain when I talked about the book. It's because he only was on page for like a page or 2. He was not there very much. They alluded to some of the battles. They alluded to the fact that he was the Dragon Reborn. They talked about it a bit, but really Rand only seen him very briefly in Camelin during the procession, and that was it. He was not talked about again. Rafe Judkins has mentioned a number of times that he is going to have an expanded storyline. We've seen him in the trailer, we've seen him in the teaser and some of the promotional material, and let's face it, Alvaro Morte is a very, very big actor, and he's portraying Logain. We're going to see a lot of Logain. So I think, and this is a guess, but I think we're going to see Logain as being the big bad for at least the first half of the season. I think we're going to see some of the battles. You're going to see his rise as the false dragon. I think you're going to see battles to have him captured. You're going to see battles to have him try to be broken free. I think you're going to see all of that, and we're probably going to get to see a gentling on screen as well. That's my guess, because let's face it, Logain's a really cool character. He needed more book time. Realistically, at least I would like him to have more book time, and Rafe is doing that on the show. He's giving him some more time. So I think for the first half of the series, Logain will be sort of kind of the overarching bad, but not for the whole series. Then we have these folks here, the White Cloaks. Yes, this is a censored picture that Narg released many, many, many ages ago, but essentially I think the White Cloaks are going to be a very big part of the series. I think we're going to see them in the first and second episodes, mainly because they're at the table read. We're going to see much more of the White Cloaks than we did in the books, because we're seeing Iman Valda, one of the Council of the Anointed, very early on, because he's been cast, and we don't get to see them until much later in the book series. So I think we're going to see the White Cloaks being a central part of the story, and I think they're going to take up the role of generic human bad guys. So we'll have our dark friends, but I think they'll be the generic human bad guys, sort of like the anti-White Tower. That's what they're going to be. They're going to be, kidnapping and going after Aes Sedai, and I think we're going to see them in quite a number of episodes, and they're going to build them up because let's face it, they look pretty cool, and I think it would play really well on screen to have the Aes Sedai have a natural enemy where they're fighting them out in the field other than Shadowspawn. So there's that. Next thing I want to mention is Mordeth and Mashadar. Well, we don't even know if we're seeing Mordeth, because if the teaser and the trailer are to be believed when we picked them apart, it kind of seems like it was just a disembodied voice telling Matt what to do, and when he picked up the dagger, the whole city covered in a black ooze, and the black ooze, I believe, is Mashadar. So, overarching big bad for the first season? No, I don't think so at all. I think we'll see it, it'll go away, and then it'll come back much later as a cursed city. That's my guess there. Then we're going to talk about this fellow here. Yes, I know this is another shot of a fade. However, this one is going to be in place of a Shamael. So my guess is, like I said at the first of the video, that the overarching bad guy for Season 1 will be a Shamael for a bunch of different reasons. I don't believe he's going to be masquerading as a Dark One. Not really. I think we're probably going to see the Aes Sedai come right out and say, Moiraine, right away, that one of the Forsaken is hunting you. They may not even use the Dark One as a MacGuffin in the first season, I don't think. I think the whole first season will have a Shamael invading their dreams. It will have a Shamael kind of like manipulating the events, all those other things happening. It won't be the Dark One. I don't think he'll masquerade as a Dark One for a couple of different reasons. First one, and the biggest one, is that non-book readers who are going to watch the show might be confused by that. Might be confused by the fact that one of the Forsaken is masquerading as the Dark One, pretending to be something they're not, when they could just be a scary Forsaken. So there's that. Now, on the subject of Forsaken, I don't think we're going to see Agenor and Bathamel, and if we do, they will have a much bigger expanded role. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to cut out Agenor, they're going to cut out Bathamel. I think we're going to see a Shamael take their place in more of an expanded role, and he'll be the big bad for the first season. It's my guess, anyway. All right, let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. Who do you think is going to be the big bad for the first season? Do you think I'm right with the Shamael? Do you think we're going to see expanded storylines for the White Cloaks? Do you think they're going to kind of bill Logain as a big bad for at least the first half of the season? Will we see more Shadowspawn? Maybe less of Mashadar, no more death. Let me know what you folks think in the comments down below. Also, just a quick reminder, I am running my 10,000 subscriber contest right now, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Leave a comment, like the video, because I am printing those minifigures as we speak. You may hear it in the background of the video, actually, and they will be ready to go first week of October when I pick my winner, and I'll ship them out to them then. So the only way to win is if you're subscribed to the channel and you leave a comment and you like the videos. Also, if you like what I do here, think about supporting us on Patreon. My Patreon link is down below in the description box. Every little bit helps here at the channel. We are going to be doing some exciting things over the coming months, but they do cost some money, so any little bit helps there. All right, thank you all so very much for sticking with me here to the very end, and here's to many more.